Hello viewers, this is the part 5 of the series named Mastering OEM, the one-stop shop on Oracle Enterprise Manager where you will learn to administer OEM at its best. In the last couple of tutorials, we created the 64-bit Oracle Linux 7.9 virtual server, installed Oracle 19c software, created the Oracle database for the OEM repository, and also installed the OEM 13.5 software. If you have not watched the previous tutorials in this series, I suggest you watch them first so you get a better understanding on today's tutorial. Today, we will cover installation of OEM agents on database servers. Before we start installation of OEM agents, let's talk about a few prerequisites. Make sure that the target operating system is compatible and certified for the OEM agents installation. If you want to learn how to verify the compatibility and certification metrics for any Oracle product, please watch my other video through the link that I have given in the description of this video below. Secondly, the OS environment prerequisites like existence of the Oracle user or the Oracle software owner, and the user limits, packages, etc. Thirdly, the DNS server should resolve the target host name. Without a DNS name resolution, you can still use the IP address of the target server, but that is not recommended by Oracle. Now, the number 2 and number 3 prerequisites are just informational because if you are installing the agent software on an existing Oracle database server, which is usually and mostly the case, then existence of the Oracle user or the Oracle software owner and the user limits, DNS name resolution, etc. are already set, and you don't have to take care of those things. In the fourth place, we have to make sure that the minimum space requirements are met. That is, the temp storage or the temp file system should have minimum 3 gigs of free space, and the file system that you are going to install the agent should have minimum 5 gigs of free space. We'll discuss 2 different methods of installing OEM agents which are mostly used. You will be able to find all the commands that I'm using here in the description of the video below. The 2 methods that we are going to demonstrate are the pull method and the push method. In the pull method, we create an installer image of an already installed agent, then transfer that image to the target server with the same OS environment as the source environment and run the agent installer in the target server. Here, the installer process running in the target will pull all the required information from the OMS server to complete the configuration. In the push method, we install the agent from the OEM console, and the installer process in the OMS will transfer or push the required files, create directories, install the agent software in the target server along with running any root scripts to complete the configuration. For this method, the OEM software library must have the proper version of the agent software downloaded and available to install. By default, the agent software installed on the OMS server is available in the software library to be installed on other servers with similar OS environment. Both these methods work great, and you can choose one of them based on your environment requirements and specifications. I prefer the push method as that is easier but needs higher level of access. In this demo, I will install the agent using the pull method first, then I will deinstall the agent and install it again using the push method. So here I have established 2 SSH sessions to our servers using Oracle user. The first one to our OMS or OEM server named admin server, and the second one to the client database host named VM Linux 1. Both the servers have Oracle Linux 7.9 installed, which is 64-bit. So cat etc Oracle release, Oracle Linux server release 7.9, and we'll do the same in the target server also, and it is also 7.9. And we have a database installed in this VM Linux 1 server, cat etc or a tab, and the name of the database is ORCL1. And also there is one listener which is already up and running. The name of the listener is also listener. I have already verified the compatibility and the certification metrics for the target server and the database to install the OEM 13.5 agent, which is very important before you proceed. Again, if you want to learn how to verify the compatibility and certification metrics for any Oracle product, please watch my other video through the link that I have given in the description of this video below. Now let's check the target server's file system with df-h, and we see that our target file system where we are going to install the OEM agent, that is U001, has 6.4 gigs free, so we are good. And now we need to verify the temp space. In my server, I don't have a separate file system as temp file system, but we have a directory named temp under the root file system. So we will check the free space in the root instead, and we see that there are 23 gigs available, so we are good for the temp space also. Now let's go to the OEM server where we will create the agent installation image for our full method of agent installation. So here we have to use certain commands that is relevant for the OEM system and which are available under the bin directory of middleware home, and I have already included the path to the bin directory of the middleware home in the base profile of the Oracle user, so that you don't have to set the path every time you use these commands. And we can see this by looking at the .base profile of Oracle user, where the path variable has been assigned with this particular path to the bin directory under middleware home. So if we try to do a which emctl, that is the enterprise manager control command, we'll be able to see it's coming from the bin directory under middleware home. And another command that we are going to use is emcli, so that is the enterprise manager command line interface, and that is also coming from the bin directory under middleware home. Next, we have to log in to our OMS using the emcli login username command. So it is emcli login minus username, which is equal to sysman, and the password that we set earlier, sysman12345, and the login is successful. Next command that we are going to use is emcli sync. So this is going to sync up all the configuration in the OMS with the OEM repository. Now the next command that we are going to use is to create the image of the agent. So this is again using the emcli get image minus destination, which is going to be under the temp directory agent 135 underscore image. That is the name that I have given to the directory under which the installation files will be created, and the platform is Linux 64-bit, and the version of the agent is 13.5, and you have to exactly specify this information as mentioned here. And this agent is nothing but the agent which is already installed in our OMS or the OEM server. So once we hit enter, this is going to create our agent installation image. This is going to take approximately 1 to 2 minutes based on your server's performance, and it has created the agent image for installation. If you want to see the OEM agent which is already up and running in this OMS server, you can simply do a psef grep em agent command. But before that, let me clear the screen, and we'll do a psef grep em agent, and we see that the OEM agent which is installed in this location U001 app Oracle agent 13c agent 13.5 0.0.0. This is the agent home. Now we will go to the agent home, and under that there's a directory called sysman install folder to get a list of plugins which are actually installed in this agent. And in this location there is a file called plugins.txt. This file is very important, which gives us the list of all the plugins which are installed on this agent. So we have to include this plugins.txt file on the agent image that we created using the zip command. So zip, this is the zip archive that is already created as the agent image, and we are going to include this plugins.txt file within that image. Press enter, and this has updated the plugins.txt file which was already present with the agent image with this latest one, which is present under the agent home sysman install directory. Please note that by default, whatever agent image was created that has a plugins.txt file which does not have all the information required about the plugins installed on the agent. That's the reason we need to include this plugins.txt file, which is actually available under the agent's home directory in the installer image that we have created. Now we have to transfer the agent image to our target server. So we will go to the temp directory, cd temp, and we have our directory where we have created our agent installation images, and this is our agent installation image which is in a zip format. So we have to transfer this zip file to this VM Linux server, which is our target server. So we'll do an SCP, this file, which will go to this VM Linux machine. We will use the Oracle user or VM Linux 1. This is the target server with its fully qualified name, and the file will be transferred to the temp directory in the target server. Yes, and the password for the Oracle user, and the file is getting transferred to our target server. Okay, now it is 100% transferred, and now we can see that the agent installation image has been transferred to our target server under the temp directory. So first we will unzip this installer image to a directory with the same name, unzip -d say agent 13.5. This is going to take about 30 seconds, and it has been unzipped under the folder named agent_13.5. Next, we will go inside the directory, list out the files, and we are going to use this agent deploy.sh, this particular script, to install the agent. Now before we start the installation, we have to set the agent registration password in the OMS side so that the agent can register itself with the OMS during the installation. To set the agent registration password, go to the OEM console, log in as sysman, and in the console go to setup security. Under security it is registration passwords, and there will be already one existing entry. We will create a new entry for the agent registration password. We'll create a new password, agent reg 123, agent reg 123, all in small case. The description, agent registration, and it's going to be our persistent password. You can also create one-time password if you want, and once that is used, that expires. But we are going to create a persistent password because all our agent installation is going to use the same registration password going forward. And the expiry date we are setting here, say 1 year from now, and then click on the create button. So our new agent registration password has been set. Now we will go back to our SSH session that we established to our target server VM Linux 1, and I'm simply pasting the command here, which is going to use the agent deploy.sh script, which is available in this directory, and we are passing certain parameters here to specify few information like the agent base directory, which is going to be u001 app oracle agent 13c, then the agent instance home, which is under this agent base directory, and that is u001 app oracle agent 13c agent underscore inst, and the port where the agent will be running is 3872. The OMS host is the fully qualified name of our OMS host, that is the admin server.oraexpert.org, that is this server, and the EM upload port is 4903. The agent registration password is going to be the one that we just created as agent reg 123. Please note that this upload port and the agent port, these are the values that is recommended by Oracle. If you want, you can change it to something like 3871 or 3873 also. And similarly, you can also change the EM upload port when you install the OMS itself. But right now, as our OMS has been already installed and the upload port has been already specified as 4903 while installation, we have to use the same port here for the agent installation also. So we'll hit enter, and this is going to install the agent. Please note that if you want, instead of specifying these parameters here, you can also create one response file, and inside that response file you can specify all these parameters and mention the path to that response file in this agent deploy.sh command. But since I am using only 5 or 6 parameters here, so I prefer to do that in the single line as one command. So right now the installation is in progress, which is going to take around 10 minutes, and we can see that the agent installation is at the end of its process, and it is also recommending to run the root script, which is specified here, and we will establish another session to this VM Linux 1 server as root and run that script. And we will just paste the script that we copied from the other screen. This takes only a few seconds and it's done. So we can see that our agent installation is now complete. To check whether the agent is currently up or running, we do a ps ef grep em agent command, and we see that the agent process is up. So we will go to this agent home location. This is agent underscore 13.5000, and under that there is a directory called bin directory which has all the agent related commands. So we'll do /emctl status agent, and we should be able to see that the agent is up and running along with its communication has been established to the OMS. And yes, we see that the last successful upload is a few seconds before, and the agent is running and ready. Now this is the full method that we use to install the agent, and now I am going to deinstall this agent and install it again using the push method. To deinstall the agent, we have to set certain environment variables before running the command, and first of that is, let me first clear the screen. The first environment variable is the agent home variable. We are exporting the agent home here. Next we are going to export the Oracle home, which is nothing but the agent home itself. So export Oracle home equals to agent home. Then we will also export the path variable to include the Perl executable which is available under the Oracle home or the agent home, which is the same here. and under that it's the Perl directory, and under that it's bin and the Perl executable, and we are keeping the remaining settings of the path variable as it is. Press enter. Then the actual command that is going to deinstall the agent is the Oracle home /Perl bin Perl, that is the executable, and we are specifying here the agent home, and under agent home sysman install the agent deinstall.pl, that is, this is the Perl script that is going to be used to deinstall the agent, and the agent home, which is the value which we have set in the agent home environment variable, and if we press enter, it is going to deinstall the agent. Okay, so the agent deinstallation has been successfully completed. Now if we try to see the agent process status with psef grep em agent, we'll see nothing, means the agent has been deinstalled, and before that it was brought down. And now we are going to install the agent using the push method. To do that, we will go to our OEM console. Now we are in our OEM console, but before we start installing the agent, we have to delete a few references of the agent that we installed using the agent deploy command before, so that this is going to be a fresh installation. To do that, we will go to targets, click on all targets. We should be able to see one reference for the agent that we just installed from the server VM Linux 1. And if we sort by the target type, we are going to see that there is one agent which is currently in the down state. So this is the one that we installed a few minutes back, and we are going to delete it from the repository also. We already deinstalled it from the server, but the reference in the OMS is still present. So we will right click on this agent, go to target setup, and click on the agent decommission. Click on the continue button, and it will ask for a confirmation. Click on continue to proceed with the decommission, and in the confirmation window we will use the remove agent from repository option because it has been already removed from the host. Click OK. All the references of that agent is completely gone now. Now we are going to do a fresh installation of the agent. To do that, we'll go to setup, under that add target, and under that add targets manually. And in this screen, we will click on the install agent on host, this particular button, and the installation process will automatically take one job name or a session name. Let it take that way. And under the agent software options, we will click on this add button, which will create a line here, and we have to specify the target server where we are going to install the agent. In our case, it's vmlinux1.oraexpert.org. Please note that it's important to specify the fully qualified name here, which is resolved by the DNS server in your domain. If you do not have a DNS server, you can still use the IP address, but that is not recommended by Oracle and also not suggested. So if you don't have a DNS server in your learning environment, you can watch my other video on that, which hardly takes 15 to 20 minutes to create a DNS server. And the link to that video I have mentioned in the description of this video below. So once we specify the hostname, we need to also specify the platform, which is in our case Linux x86 64-bit. And if you want to install multiple agents, then you can click on this add button multiple times to create that many lines. And for each of the lines, you will specify the server name or the host name and the platform. And if all the servers are having the same platform, then you can select this option, same for all hosts. Right now we have only one server as our target, so we will click on the next button here. In the next screen, it will give us the option to specify the installation base directory, which is in our case the U001 app Oracle agent 13c. And once you come out of that box, the instance directory will be automatically taken, which is the agent_inst directory under the agent base directory. Now we need to specify the named credentials and the root credentials. The named credentials are the credentials to install the OEM agent in the target host, and the credentials belong to the user which will own the agent software, which is nothing but the Oracle user itself. So we will click on this plus button, and this is the Oracle user, password accordingly. And here, because the Oracle user itself is the owner of the agent software, so we have to keep it as none. And if you want, you can keep that credential saved as a named credential for future use. So what we can do here to give it a more meaningful name, we'll put like mc_host_vm linux1_oracle, and then click OK. And similarly, for the root credential, we will use username as root and the password run privilege will be none. Similarly, we'll save it here, vm linux1_root. Now if you don't have root credentials available, you can still skip this option here, in which case once the installation is complete, you have to log into the target server and run the root script manually. Keep the default privilege delegation settings here, and the port again, it's by default taking 3872, which is okay for us. And the optional details we don't have to specify here because we don't have any pre-installation script or post-installation scripts, so we don't have to specify anything here. Now once all the information required are supplied properly, click on the next button, and it gives us a chance to verify one more time. Everything looks fine, and we will click on the deploy agent button here. So it has couple of stages while installing the agent, like the initialization, remote prerequisite check, and the agent deployment. And after each of these stages, we'll be able to see a check mark. So currently the initialization is in progress. We can increase the frequency of these phases refresh activity to 15 seconds instead of 30 seconds, so we get a faster update. And under the initialization stage, we can see that the remote validation step has been completed, and currently it is transferring the agent software to the destination host. And the transferring agent software to the destination host, this particular step has been completed, and right now it is in the second stage, which is remote prerequisite check. And it's also giving us the location where the installation logs are available for this particular installation, and that log file is available in the OMS server, that is our adminserver.oraexpert.org, and this is the location of the log file. And we can see now that the remote prerequisite check has been also successfully completed with this green check mark, and right now it is in the agent deployment stage. This installation and configuration step under the agent deployment stage takes around 10 minutes. Okay, now the installation and configuration has been completed, and it moved to the next step of securing the agent. While securing the agent, it uses the agent registration password that we created before. Please note that in the installation parameters, we didn't have to specify it like we did in case of the pull method, because this agent registration password is already available in the OMS console, and it is internally taking it from there. and all the remaining steps have been automatically completed. The root script was run as root user as we provided the root credentials, so it ran that script automatically, and then it collected the logs and also it cleaned up. And all we need to do is to click on this done button now. And our agent installation using the push method has been successfully completed. Now we can go to the targets, all targets, to see if we have a new agent there. Yes, it is there. The vmlinux1.oraexpert.org in the port 3872 is currently up, and this is of target type agent. So with this, I am concluding today's tutorial. In the next tutorial, we are going to discover and promote different targets using the agent, and also we will look into some important commands which we are going to use with the OMS or the agent and their uses. So viewers, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Please hit the like button if you liked it and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss an episode in this series for the Oracle DBAs or similar educational videos that I am uploading every week.